Okay guys, on the previous video we discussed, just kind of familiarizing yourself with Replicon and some of the features and some of the things that come up on the timesheet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump over to a fresh timesheet and just jump over a pay period so I can show you how to add punches, remove punches, add meal, travel, second breaks, and all of that. So we're going to just go ahead and jump into it. Um, what what I took me a while to find is here, this pay period. If you click on it, it shows you dates, right? And just kind of like our old Replicon where it had the calendar on the side here. It shows you here, and you can go back and forth, or you can either use these little arrows, and it'll take you to the next timesheet. So this is timesheet for February. I'm gonna work on this one and show you guys how to add punches. Okay. Um, The first one I'm going to do is just a typical 6-hour day. And again, remember, I like using details, so I'm just going to hit details. And I'm going to add the first punch. The first punch would be if you work a regular 6-hour day and you start your day at 8:30, and we always start with our break. We're going to hit 8:30 a.m. and we're going to add a break. We're going to add that. After you add your break, it's going to generate a new out. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on out, and we're going to clock out after 10 minutes, right, of our paid break. And from here, we're not going to clock out. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer. We're going to transfer over to our next activity, which would be direct time, employment specialist. We're going to add that. Okay, and you'll see how it created 8:30, 8:40 break, jumps over to 8:40 to whatever time you clock out, which would be 2:30 direct time. So what we're going to do is go here, 2:30 p.m. and you're clocking out. So the only time you clock in is at the beginning. The only time you clock out is at the end. Anything in between would be transfer or meal or break. So since this is a typical 6-hour, we're just going to write in the participant name in here, and any other comments you want to add there, you can feel free to do that. So we're going to add that. Okay. So I showed an error here. Please punch out to go to your 8:40 a.m. So I'm just going to regenerate. I don't think I made a mistake there. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I guess it will show you errors if there's an error. It picks up an error. I guess that's good because it'll show you if it thinks the computer thinks that you're having an error. So that's good. But if you do that and you double check it and it's all correct, then you can go ahead and recalculate here, and it'll remove the error. So that's a typical 6-hour day. Okay. And if we just continue, say for instance you have a day where you're working in the office, what you can do here, say you worked the next Monday, right, and it's your office day. We're going to go ahead and do 8:30 a.m. again. We're going to do break, add your time, out of your break, 8:40. Remember, transfer to direct time, add that. It's just going to keep on adding boxes here, and then you're going to clock out, okay, at 2:30 p.m. But we're not going out and we're not transferring at this point because we are going to the office. We need a meal break. So we're going to hit break, click meal, click add, and it'll create another box where you add in the time for your meal. So in this case, 30 minutes, 3 p.m. Okay. And what we're doing here is we're not clocking out for the day. Remember that. So we're going to just transfer over to our next activity, which would be our travel time. Add that. Our travel would be, for instance, 15 minutes away. So we would add 3:15 p.m. Remember, we transferred to travel, and now we're going to transfer to your second break. Add that. And you'll see how you can double check yourself if you're doing it correctly. And if you're transferring correctly, it will just keep going. Break, direct, meal, transport, second break, right? So we'll just add our second break, 10 more minutes, 3:25. Then we're going to transfer to indirect service. Add that. Typical days in South Orange County for office time is 1 hour. So, sorry, not one. So we'll just add 1 hour to that. Okay, and we're clocking out. Remember always to write the participant name that you're with. Add it. Perfect. Okay, so this is the timesheet. You can always double check it. There's no errors. There's no meal violation because we didn't go over the 6 hours. The next one I'm going to show you is if you have a group, you usually work, 6.5 hours, or for an emergency, you go over 6 hours or you drop off late, then you would have to add a second break when you work over 6 hours. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. Okay. All right. So again, I'm going to run through it without explaining. Try to follow, since I already went through it a couple of times. So. Okay. Okay, so say we dropped off late or work with a group and our day doesn't end at the 6 hour mark, it ends at the, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, and that would jump you into having to take another break. So for instance, I dropped off this person at 2:40 instead of 2:30. Okay, then you know that you're late, so we're not going to clock out here. What we need to do is we need to add a second break. So we're going to transfer to second break, add that, and you'll see the meal violation here. Okay, looks like I made a mistake here. Let me just delete this.